Okay, as I told you, functions is 50% the same as the things we did in IGCSE O level. होता क्या function? A function is simply fx or gx or anything, any name that they can give you. This is a function. This is a function. So what we did in the O levels or IGCSEs, you learned that the f in this one is f is the name, right? Is the name of the function. Over here, the other one is g. Then x is the input, the x variable. This is the input, and this complete thing fx. This is the output. Most of the time we use these words, input and output. But now you will use different words for this input, output, or anything else. Since you कौन से number पे भेजा आपने? Okay, we will see that. Okay, and what we did in the IGCSEs or O levels, they would ask you to find F2, or they would ask you to find F10, or they would ask you to find X when Fx is, let's suppose, 100. So what you used to do, F2 is what they have given you the function input, F2. This means that the value of X, the input is 2. So you would do 3 times 2 plus 5, and this would become 11. 6 plus 5, 11. Over here, this would become F10, which would become 3 times 10 plus 5 is equals to 35. That's it. So the input was 10 and the output is 35. And in this one, they're asking you to find the input when the output is 100. So fx complete value of the function is given to you. The value of the function is 100, but at what value of x? That's what we want to find. So 100 minus 5 is 95, and x would become 95 upon 3. That's it. These were the simple things, and these types of questions also come in A level, but these are of mostly 1 mark, 2 mark, simple, very simple. And then the next thing we did in functions in our O levels or IGCSEs is finding the inverse. Can anyone recall? Rahim, can you recall how do you find that inverse?
सर आई थिंक इसमें किसी चीज़ को सब्जेक्ट बनाना होता था. आई डोंट नो.
भूल गए? क्या ग्रेड
जी
बना था O लेवल में?
सर, मेरा बी था लेकिन साल हो गया है. इस साल मैंने ए लेवल्स बिजनेस स्टडीज़ दिया था, तो
ओके,
मुझे मैथ पढ़े हुए साल हो गया बेसिकली.
चलो सही है, कोई बात नहीं. इट्स ओके. बी इज अ गुड ग्रेड. मतलब जिसका बी है उसको कम से कम याद होता है. लेकिन इट्स ओके, यू हैव हैड अ लॉन्ग ब्रेक. सो हु एल्स? मुनीब आया आज? इनवर्स कैसे निकलेगा? मुहिब.
सर इनवर्स के अंदर ना, जैसा अगर आपका वो इक्वेशन है y इज इक्वल टू वो करके आगे,
हम्म,
तो आपने x को जो है ना सब्जेक्ट बनाना होता है. जब आप x सब्जेक्ट बना लेते हो तो आप जो हो x की जगह पे y लिख देते हो, y की जगह पे x लिख देते हो, एंड दैट इज बेसिकली योर इनवर्स इक्वेशन.
हाँ सही है, बिल्कुल. फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू replace your fx with y, and then you make x the subject. You have made x the subject, and then replace x with f inverse and y with x. So this would become x minus 5 upon 3 is equals to f inverse. ये आपका आंसर बनता है. This is how you will always, and this is the same step every time, even though now you may get some difficult or more complex equation to find the inverse of, but the method is the same. Let's do another one. Let's suppose they have given you gx as 5x minus 7 upon 2x plus 5. They're asking you to find G inverse, G minus 1. So how would you do it? First, you would replace the gx with y upon 2x plus 5. And now it is algebra. You have to make x the subject. Move things around. The better your algebra is, the easier your ASP1 would become. So you can do the cross multiply. So y would be multiplied by 2x plus 5, 5x minus 7. So 2xy plus 5y is equals to 5x minus 7. Move both y's together, sorry, x together. So 2xy minus 5x and minus 7 and minus 5y. X taken common. So 2y minus 5 is equals to minus 7 minus 5y. And then x is equals to its front of you. So now x is a subject. The last thing is you would replace the x with the g inverse and the y with x. Very simple steps, and it won't. These steps will not change. Even if you get the most complicated equation, you have to do the same thing. The better your algebra, the easier this would become. So yeah, Rahim, समझ आया? This is just right now revising what we did in O level
जी
IGCSE.
सर.
Then there's one more thing we did in O levels IGCSE is finding the composite functions. So whatever we did in IGCSEs, it's all over here included, and then we'll do more as well. Finding the composite functions. What is a composite function, Abhiyan? Can you recall?
सर जब वो दो दे देते थे, मतलब जैसे g ऑफ f ऑफ x इस तरह करते थे.
Let's suppose they have given you two functions, fx and gx, and they ask you to find expression for f gx and gfx. और कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं? सॉल्व ऑल्सो वन फॉर मी. अब यहाँ एफ जी एक्स से निकालोगे अगर याद है तो.
सर पहले हम gx निकालेंगे ना.
जी एक्स तो पड़ा हुआ है 5/x.
सर हम जो है जी एक्स को क्या कहते हैं एफ ऑफ एक्स के उसके अंदर ही डालेंगे एक्स की जगह पे.
हाँ ऐसा ही है, ऐसा ही है. So this f gx means that this is written like this, f in gx. So the input of the function of f is the gx function. So the input is x over here. So now your input would become gx 2 times gx plus 5. And gx is, you can replace the expression for gx. So this becomes your fgx. समझ आया? संची याद है नहीं याद? Good. And now if they're asking you to find g of x, so g is the outer function, and inside g the input, your x has become fx. So 5 upon fx. So this becomes 5 upon 2x plus 5. fx is 2x plus 5. ठीक है? फिर आगे वो फर्दर जो भी निकालने को कहे. Okay, if it is asking you to find gf0, so inside the input function of gf that you found, the expression of gf, your input is 0. So 5 upon 2 times 0 plus 5. 5 upon 5 is 1. But this is your answer. This is what you had done in your O level IGCSE, and everything that you can see over here is repeated. Everything is included in your AS level as well. And then there are further more things as well. Now, if we move on to the AS part, the newer part, first of all, the functions that you used to see in your O level IGCSE, they were an incomplete definition of a function. Because if a function is defined to you, they also define for what values is this function valid. This is the complete definition of a function. It has now everything that is needed to define a function. It has the name of the function f, it has the input, it has the expression, this is the expression, this is the name, x is the input, and this fx is the output as well. And alongside is this part. This is telling me for what values will the function exist. Is it existing? So does anyone know how do you read this, what I've written over here?
सही है, इसकी रेंज है।
ये रेंज नहीं है, ये इसकी डोमेन है. You can say
और
range is in the more general term. Lekin how do you read this? What is this written? X and then something and then R. What is this? Does anyone know?
नहीं सर, मुझे तो नहीं पता।
This means this is you have done these things on your O levels in IGCSEs. This symbol is means belongs to, and R means set of all real numbers. What are real numbers? Avian, पता है? X belongs to the set of all real numbers. This means real numbers means all numbers that you have done. Positive, negative, decimal, fraction, integer, सारे number. Zero. So
सर
this
आपको
means
आवाज आ रही?
yes आ रही है, बोलो.
जी सर, वो पहले माइक नहीं चल रहा था, सिर्फ सारे नंबर्स ही हो.
हाँ ऐसा ही है. So this means that inside this function fx 3x plus 5, I can put in any value of x. Any value of x. Positive, negative, zero. But this definition will always be given in the question. You will see this. Always. Otherwise the function is incomplete. And now the next thing that is important to understand is that values of x, we call it the input, but we also now we don't use input output words, we use the word of domain. You have used this word in your O level IGCSE as well, but not so frequently. Now you will only work with domain and range. So whenever you talk about x values, you will say domain. Whenever you talk about the y values or the fx values, you will call it range. And that just takes a little more practice. You will do some more questions and eventually you will learn this. I can recall in my time, I always forgot what is x and what is y, which one is the domain, which one is the range. I always had to look this thing up. But eventually when I did a lot of past paper questions and so this I memorized. But it took me a while. So it's okay. Look, have your notes in front of you. Initially, if you're doing the past papers or doing any practice, you may need them so that you don't forget these. This is important. Whenever they talk about domain, it is the x. Whenever they talk about the range, it is the y. So in this question, the yellow part, they have defined the domain. And then they can ask you in the question to find the range if the domain is this much, to find the domain if the range is this much. That is something we will do later on. That is the important one. So now you have everything over here. Range and domain, that's important. And then we have to first of all properly understand this functions. You also have to have a background, good good knowledge about graphs. On graphs and sketches. In quadratic chapter, I told you we learned how to sketch quadratic curves. And I told you over there that it would be very much useful in the chapter of functions. Allah. So if I draw the right now the graph for this function, which is fx is equals to 3x plus 5, and let's suppose x is greater than 2. So we will sketch it. They would never ask you to draw something. Drawing means or plotting means that you find every other point and then you join them with a straight line or a curve. That is called plotting. Sketching means just showing the important parts of that curve, of that line, and then just show the essence of the shape of the क्या बोलते हैं, of the graph. So in this one, whenever you sketch, the most important parts are the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, sorry, and the turning points if there are any. Because we know in quadratic curves we have turning points. This quadratic is a turning point, right? This is important point. The x and the y-intercept. So you must show these things whenever you sketch something, whenever you sketch a graph. Where is Munib? So if we find this would become 3x plus 5. So the x-intercept would be where your y is 0. When your y is 0, 3x plus 5, so x comes out as minus 5 upon 3. And if your x is 0, your y comes out to be 5. So the coordinate is uh, minus 5 upon 3 comma 0 and 0 comma 5. Okay, I told you that y and fx, they're the same thing, okay? So don't worry about it. fx or the y is the same thing.
सर आप पिछले 2 मिनट का रिकैप करा देंगे क्योंकि मेरा लैपटॉप डेड हो गया था तो ज्वाइन करने में टाइम लगा।
कहाँ से रिकैप?
सर ये हमने जो एफ की इक्वेशन की थी जो एस वाली उसके बाद वाला है जो आपने एक्स और एफ एक्स डिवाइडेड बाय वाई का बताया हुआ है।
बस मैंने ये बताया था कि now you won't use the word of input for x, you would use domain. Whenever they talk about x, they will call it domain. And fx and y, they're the same thing. This is called the range. And then I told that for this chapter of functions, you should have a good knowledge on graphs and sketches. And whenever you sketch something, it is important to show the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, and the turning points if there are any. And right now they have given you something, and
जी
we are trying
सर।
to, बस इतनी सी बात थी।
ओके
ठीक है, तो अब if you plot this, x is 0 and y is 5. 1 2 3 4 5, or let's go with 5 10 15, this thing. And the x-intercept is negative 5 upon 3, which is negative 1.6666 something. This, let's suppose, minus 1, minus 2, and this would be slightly ahead, negative 1.66. And then you will join this. The graphs should be, the sketches should be logical. ऐसा नहीं हवा में कुछ भी. The scaling of the graph, शक्ल सूरत, they should be logical. टेढ़ा मेढ़ा कुछ भी बना दोगे तो it would then make more difficult for you to use that graph to find it further, to solve it further. So look, right now I have sketched for all values of x, but now they have told us that x is only greater than 2. So x is 1, x is 2. So this is the starting point. So if my x is equals to 2, my output, the value of y is 6 plus 5 is 11. Something over here, 11. So the concerned part of my curve is only this one. उससे पीछे जितना भी था, everything behind this 2 is not of my concern because that is out of the domain. The domain tells us that the function is only valid for x values greater than 2. So this should only work when your x is greater than 2. And then your y, as you can see, is going above 11. है ना? समझ आया? So you will only consider this part. Rayan. Everyone is right now again and again disconnecting. Okay. So this point is, the boundary point is, what is it? 2, 11. I also can't call it the boundary because here the function starts or ends, you can say. So for the given domain, you will only graph or plot this much or sketch this much. The other part you can erase it also. You don't need that. Okay. And what can they do further in this? The question would be something like this. They would ask you to find the range of the function. This is the actual question. Working kya thi? Let's suppose this is the only question that they give you. And this is all working. Sometimes they would give you the graph, sometimes you would have to plot it to see the range of the domain. So they have given you the question, the function, they have given you the domain, they're asking you to find the range. So what values of y will you get for the given values of x? So using the sketch, you can see the shaded part is the part of your concern, the yellow part, and this is x is greater than 2. And the y values you can see, they are all increasing from the value of y is 11. This would become 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And as much as this yellow portion would go, this would keep on, the y values would keep on increasing. So x is greater than 2 till infinity, right? Till positive infinity. And therefore, fx is right now greater than 11 till again positive infinity. So as long as the graph goes, my values of y will also keep increasing from 11. And 2, exactly the 2 value is not included. You can see it is only greater than 2, not included. So that's why the boundary exactly is not included. So that's why I've only written down fx is greater than 11, not greater than equal to 11. So the answer to this question is this. This is the range. So whenever they ask you to find the range from domain or domain from range, the graph is the best way to understand the graph and then give the relevant inequality. So finding range from domain or vice versa. The best, most, what do you say, logical method is to use the sketch of the function, because the sketch will show you for what values of x you will get what values of y. Do you get this? The question, finding the range through domain through range. Any questions, anyone? This is something new. This you did not do this in your IGCSE.
Nice, sir. No questions.
Let's suppose it is. Less than equal to 4. Find the range of fx. So it's always better to have the graph. So you will draw a short, very crispy graph, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So x-intercept, we know y is 0. So 0 is equals to minus x plus 3. So x is equals to 3. This is your x-intercept. And y-intercept, uh, y-intercept would be x0. So y is equals to 0 plus 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. So these are the 2 points. You join them. You got the line. Okay. And now you see, you find the value at the boundary. The boundary is 4. So if x is 4, so y comes out to be minus 4 plus 3, which is minus 1 over here. Look, x is 4 and y is minus 1. This is the boundary. And they have told us that x should only be less than 4. So this means all of the graph which is left to the 4, which means the part of my concern is this much, all of this. So if I look at this, if I analyze this yellow region, I see that the x values are to the left side of 4 and the y values are going up. The function is going up. If you as you move to the left side, your graph is going up, 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 up as much as it wants. So this means the y value is the fx is greater than equal to minus 1. This is your answer. The boundary was minus 1. And because 4 was included, so that's why value of y is also included. Do you get it? Okay. I am explaining again. Okay, again. The question is they have given you the function and they have given you this x is less than equal to 4. And this is the domain, right? X values is the domain. Find the values of y. Find the values of fx, which is the range of fx. So first of all, we should have the sketch in our mind. It's always easier to analyze the range from domain or the domain from range using the sketch. So we deliberately made a simple basic sketch. I found two values to sketch the line and to see the shape of the line, and then I found the value of the y at the boundary, exact boundary where x is 4. So at the exact boundary, the point is minus 1 comma 4, and the shape of the line is like this. Okay, and then they told us that x values are only to be input which are less than 4. So this means that all of the region to the left side of 4 is of my concern. So that this yellow part of the curve has the x values which are less than 4, है ना? किसने पूछा था? Mohit, did you ask क्या? Do you get it now? So the left side of 4. Why are you looking at the left side of 4? Because that's what the domain that they've given you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's why I kept this one. And then for this region, you can see when your x is moving to the left side, your y is going up, up, up. And from what value of y is it going up? It is going up from minus 1. So the fx values are increasing from minus 1, and it becomes 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. The y values are also increasing as much as you want to go in the x values. Okay? That's why the range is greater than equal to minus 1.
ओके ठीक है सर समझ आ गया
Okay, good. Ryan, do you get it now?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the easier part. When you have a straight line, it's not very much difficult. What about when if it is a quadratic curve? For example, they have given you fx is equals to uh, x minus 1 whole square plus 2, and they have given you domain x is greater than 0. So first, find the range of f. So what do we do? What is the turning point, Ryan? What is the turning point, Sanchi?
1
1 comma 2. Yes. How did you get the turning point? You compare your equation with the completing the square form. So 1x minus 1 plus 2. So h is 1 and k is 2. So h comma k is your turning point. 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is your turning point. And then you find the y intercept. So if x is 0, your y comes out to be minus 1 square plus 2, so 3. Minus 1 square is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So the curve is like this. This is your quadratic curve. And then, let's change it. And then for the given curve, we have to find now the range. And the region which is part, now find the value at the boundary, if you forgot the boundary. So F2, the boundary is where x is 2. So 2 minus 1 whole square plus 2 is 1 plus 2 is 3, again 3. So when your x is 2, your y is again 3. This is the boundary. And then they've told you that x is only greater than 2. Greater than 2 means to the right side. So everything to the right side, the curve is going like this. The curve is, the relevant part is this region, which is going up. So as you are going to the right side of of this 2, your curve is going up. And from what value of y is it going up?
3.
Yes. So this function range would become fx is greater than 3. And because 2 was not included, that's why 3 is also not included. समझ आया ये? Okay, so now for this one, you can see if you sketch it, a is less than 0, negative, right? Minus 1. So the graph would be a sad face. And then the turning point is, what is the turning point? Abhiyan,
Sir, 5 or 6.
minus 5 comma minus 6. So a x minus h whole square plus k, right? So if you compare this, so minus h is equals to 5. So h would be equal to 5, right? Minus 5. And k is equals to minus 6. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
ये थोड़ा सा मतलब मुश्किल नहीं है. After a few questions, you will get a hold of it. Don't worry. Practice. Once you will do some practice on the quadratic chapter, then it would become easier. Minus 5 comma minus 6. Let's suppose this is minus 5 and let's suppose this is minus 6 and it is a sad face. And you try to find the value at the boundary. Boundary is 4. So f4 is equals to minus 4 plus 5 whole square. It is ज़्यादा हो गया. It should be negative 4. Negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 whole square minus 6. So this would become what? 1 square minus 6 and minus 7. Minus 4 plus 5. 1. 1 square is 1. And minus 6 and minus 7.
Yes, minus 7.
So it is minus 4 and it is minus 7. Okay. And now they have told us that x is less than minus 4. So this means everything to the left side of minus 4. So everything to the left side of minus 4 is this part of the curve. And what is the values of y that you are getting for this region? Anyone who can suggest me what is the range?
-6 comes
Less than, greater than what?
greater than -6.
Greater than -6? 999.
Wait,
Anyone else? Yes, less than. It will be fx less than equal to -6, because we can see the yellow part, all of the yellow part is below the -6 value, है ना? This region, complete region, is the y values are below the -6. समझ आ रहा है? अभियान, मोहित, संची?
जी सर।
पक्की बात है? हाँ हाँ तो नहीं कर रहे?
नहीं
सर
नहीं
थोड़ी सी
सर,
प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि
थोड़ी सी
कभी
प्रैक्टिस
कभी
होगी,
एकदम से
जैसे
निकल
जैसे
जाता है।
हो जाएगा। यही बात है।
पहली दफा है ना, इट्स आई नो, एक दफा में समझ में नहीं आती, एक दफा में जो है ना, इट सीम्स लाइक इट इज अलॉट, सो मैच इन्फॉर्मेशन, और बंदा फिर भूल जाता है। इट्स ओके, यू विल डू सम मोर प्रैक्टिस ऑन दिस। बस ये लॉजिक ध्यान में रखना कि जिस एक्स की वैल्यूज के लिए उसने दिया है उधर वाई की वैल्यूज कौन सी मिल रही हैं, एंड देन अकॉर्डिंगली। तो what is the function again? fx is quadratic. And look, they have not given you any curves or sketches or anything. Because this is quadratic, they assume that you know quadratic graphs, you know about the things about quadratic things. Okay, quadratic equation. So the turning point, we know it is right now 2 comma -4. This is 2 and -4. Something like that. And the boundary value is 2. At exactly 2. And at exactly 2, we know the value of y is -4. And then they are asking you to consider the part which is greater than 2. So this part. So this means this part of the curve. So what would be the domain? Oh, sorry, range. Sanchi, range क्या बनेगी? What are your y values that you?
-4.
हाँ, बेहतरीन. Good. fx is greater than equal to -4, because we can see it is the y values are all increasing. As we are moving to the right side, the function is going up. Right side up, right side up, right side up. मोहित समझ आ रहा है? अभियान?
जी सर।
यस सर।
गुड. ये होता है स्केच से देखकर निकालना. सेट स्केच, वेयर इज द स्केच? Find an expression for f. Find the domain of f inverse. X is greater than. Now this one has an asymptote. Do you people know what is an asymptote?
No.
You should know it. You have done it. You have done it in IGCSE O level. Asymptote is the error line. In the graph of tan, Ryan, if you can recall, the tan graph was something like this, right? Isn't it? And this at 90 degree and at 270 degree, we call it, it is an asymptote, error line. Your graph becomes parallel to this line, but it will never intersect. So the function over here that they plotted for you is 6 upon 2x plus 3. And it is for x greater than 0. So you can see this is x value 0. And what is the value of y over here? 0 plus 3, which would be 2. So 0 comma 2. So your function is all to the right side of this 0. That's what they have told you as well, that x is greater than 0. And you can see that the function is going down. So it's the y values are going lower, less than 2. And then the function is becoming slowly parallel, horizontal. And what is the exact horizontal, the line with which it is parallel? You need to find the asymptote. So the asymptote for this function, 6 upon 2x plus 3. There's something new. There are 3 new things that you're learning over here. Okay. So that when the denominator becomes 0, then it becomes, if denominator is 0, then it becomes an error. That is the asymptote. So 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. So x is equals to 1 negative 2x plus 3 or minus 3? Plus 3. So एक मिनट ये तो बाद की बात है, बल्कि it's not this much. It is becoming parallel. It's going down, coming. तो इससे क्या है, ये सारे के सारे y वैल्यू से, सॉरी x एक्सिस से ऊपर ही है. So the curve is below the value of 2 and above the value of the x axis. So the range right now becomes that fx is less than 2 and greater than 0, because it is always above the x axis, because it is slowly becoming parallel to the x axis. It's like this. So that's why your graph always remains above x axis and below the 2 value. So that's why the range over here is 0, 2. समझ आया? Okay.
जी सर.
Okay. Take a screenshot of this thing. We will continue. You people will do some questions. There are 2-3 more things to discuss definitely in this chapter. We will continue in the next class as well. Meanwhile, I'll give you the past papers of the quadratic chapter. You can do the practice. You have a lot of time. Bring questions. I'm stopping the recording now.